The human brain, a command center, constantly processing thoughts, emotions, and actions. The mind is miraculous and mysterious, even when it malfunctions.
I'm Rick Johnston. I have a brain disorder.
In 2015, Rick suffered a health scare, similar to a stroke.
His brain shut off. He can't verbally, say hi to me. He can't tell me what's wrong.
So frustrating.
Rick's mind had reset, trapping him in a body that didn't work.
Affects my speech,
constant headaches,
the way I walk,
vertigo, sensitivity to light. There was no rule book for what happened.
And no sure way back. Therapy would help Rick walk and talk again. But his mind, that would come back more slowly and different.
God closes one door. He makes sure that he opens another. You just got to look for it.
And when he looked, Rick saw color.
Yeah.
Color like he had never seen before.
Yeah, really? Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Color Rick's brain had kept locked away until his speech therapist handed him a key.
Would you be interested in painting? He said, I've never painted in my life.
Zero artistic ability.
Well, you don't know until you try.
I couldn't draw a stick figure.
But Rick tried, and all that color, it started to have a purpose, a focus.
This is amazing. And he said, it's the first one I've done. Would you like to have it? I was like, yes, I'll put it in my office.
Rick now paints for hours, sometimes days at a time.
My living room, my wife would like that back.
It's a busy afternoon on US 50.
Now it's a silver car in front of the maroon car.
Police Captain Carl Lamb can't sit still.
He just put his phone down.
He's eyeballing dangerous drivers.
One intersection.
And directing cops to pull them over and write them up. All the while, Lamb stays out of sight, identifying more violators while peering through the windows of a Seymour school bus. You know, when you get up here at a bus, you look out the window, you can see just about anything.
Yeah, you got a very good vantage point from up here. You see a lot.
And drivers can't see him.
Officer Shelley, Seymour Police Department. The reason I pulled you over is you didn't have your seatbelt on.
Today, police aren't targeting speeders. They're after distracted drivers. Drivers texting, emailing, and not using their seatbelts.
Distracted driving is #1 concern of all bus drivers.
The transportation director of Seymour Community Schools signed on to help police keep kids safe.
This Atlantic giant pumpkin his name is Goliath.
Taking this look from our drone gives you some perspective. It takes a pin of 28 feet by 35 feet to contain the root system that enables Goliath to grow at an astonishing 39 pounds a day.
This plant is a beast. Okay, it wants to grow, grow, grow.
Dr. Strickler practiced diagnostic radiology for 33 years, retired a year ago, and now, well, just nursing along his crops.
Is this your new patient?
I wouldn't call it a patient.
Okay.
I've never been as close with a patient as I am with this.
It certainly sounds like the dental office, but on this cardiovascular critical care unit, the noise isn't a drill. It's actually a Dremel. That's what Jeremy Carr uses to grind, sand, and polish his model cars. Carr is a mechanic. He's been off the job for more than 130 days, and he's craving routine.
I can do the same thing with a real car as I can do with those.
He set up a model car shop in his second-floor corner room at Methodist as he continues to wait for a heart transplant.
Worst case scenario is I don't get a heart, and I don't make it too much longer.
To cope, Carr stays busy, busy, busy.
When he's working on a car, he is relaxed.
The little plug wires took me like 4.5 hours to do.
Carr believes it's much better to talk about the attributes of his 1969 Camaro, the Green Mamba, than what he witnesses daily.
I mean, there's people that pass away all the time in here. And there's been two people that's passed away in the next room. This stuff's hard to hear.
Through the buzz of engines, you can also hear this laugh. That sound of happiness belongs to Napoleon Stewart.
Ready for the day?
Napoleon loves life.
All right, that'll work. Oh yeah, all right, have fun.
He spent a majority of it, 35 years, working for Eli Lilly. But after retiring, he quickly learned he just couldn't sit still.
I love fishing, I love boating, and I love racing. This is my fun job.
12 years ago,
well, this is where I got my start, right here in Gasoline Alley. Would love it.
Napoleon started working at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So during the month of May, he wears one of those bright yellow shirts.
It glows.
And he works 10 to 12 hours a day here at IMS.
May means money.
He helps people figure out where to go.
I see you got a big wheel today.
And he makes everyone around him smile.
A smile, it brightens up your day.
Napoleon greets people with a smile, too.
Napoleon.
Well, I'm Dan.
All right, nice meeting you.
It's my 26th year.
All right.
Then, most of the time, he grabs their hand and then just brings them in.
Sir.
Hey, that's good.
Yes,
Look,
sir.
I'll see you.
All right. Hello, Mother.
He can't even count the number of times a day he does this.
The majority of the time, I try to share love, show love, and I receive love.
Got a lot of beautiful color in the sky. See some pink and purples. Beautiful morning here in Seoul, Korea. I think we'll get some nice pictures today.
The picture of South Korea is beautifully complex. A country where modern progression intersects with the past.
It's kind of surreal. It's not like anything you can imagine until you do it.
힘들었던 부분을 사찰에 들어와서 하루 지내면서 마음의 여유를 찾고 힐링을 얻기 위해서.
In Channel 13's traditional style of coverage, our cameras traveled all over the Olympic host country, reaching the biggest cities and the places off the beaten path, including Korea's biggest island.
Jeju woman diver in Korean we say haenyeo. Haenyeo, they are the women who dive deep water without air tank. Majority of them will be over 6 years old, mostly 60 to 70. But some diver I met before, she was 80 years old.
The older generation has kind of a different way of approaching things and going about their business than, you know, my students, for example.
It's those young Koreans pushing this country forward, jumping into the country's vibrant nightlife.
Korea's nightlife never stops or never sleeps.
From illegal tattoo parlors to plastic surgery clinics to quirky cafes.
Cafes with dogs, cats, you have to be unique.
We're taking you places you couldn't imagine that exist. To meet the people you cannot forget. They are the faces and places that make Korea the picture it is.
3, 2, 1.
Every night on the Olympic Zone, come see Korea in a way you may not have pictured before.
Love for Miriam Saka brought hundreds of people to Eagle Creek Church and Community Center.
No parent should ever have to do this.
One by one, family members and friends
just love you guys.
shared memories of a teenager.
You have shown me grace through all of this.
Diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, bone cancer, at 12.
Honestly, I've had a hard time coming up with what I'm going to say.
No one really knows what to say at a funeral for a 17-year-old.
It's really awesome to look out on this sea of people.
Not even the 17-year-old.
Thank you all for being here to celebrate my life. So yes, there's tears, but we are celebrating because I didn't have to have 17 years, but I did. And I'm thankful for every day that I get.
4 years ago, Miriam felt a lump in her leg.
And we kept thinking it was growing pains.
The lump turned out to be a rare malignant bone tumor. And so the fight began. Chemotherapy, radiation, surgeries.
I've been through hell and back multiple times.
Back in January, doctors found a new mass and needed to remove half of her lung.
But then in August, we found another one. Yeah. So, and this one is growing quite quickly and is in a place where we can't get to it. At this point, we're looking at a few more months. And love you. A few more months.
So, what do you do with a finite amount of time you love?
Just say something real quick about my daughter and how awesome she is.
You live life.
I do mourn for the life that I won't get to live. The whole graduating high school and college and getting married and everything. That is something that I've had to work through. But if I don't get up every day and live that day like it could be my last, then if it is my last, I would have regretted it.
And you either cry or you laugh.
I would rather stay home, watch Hallmark, and crochet than do anything else. That's not 17, that's 71.
If you're Miriam, you focus on the first 3 letters of the word funeral. And you throw a party to die for.
It started off as a joke.
This kind of turned into my funeral.
Yeah, it's not a funeral, it's a
funeral.
funeral.
We decided that we're just going to celebrate her in the most morbid way possible.
It's my wish to be cremated, so we're having barbecue. Dirt cake, it's just an easy one.
Miriam, in her infinite 17-year-old wisdom, said, "Mom, plan it like it's my graduation party. That I can do."
And good thing. Since there did end up being that life experience to celebrate here on Earth.
By the authority invested in me by the Board of the School Trustees of Carmel Clay Schools and the state of Indiana, I confer upon you the degree of diploma, a graduate of Carmel High School. Congratulations.
There's no doubt in my mind that she's got to keep on making goals until she takes her last breath.
And I'd love to have more time here. I would love if there was a magical cure. But I cannot wait to get to heaven.
Eventually our family will be reunited, that's our hope. And so I'd rather trade 60 or 70 years here for eternity.